O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
When it comes to selling your home, efficiency is the best way, the less stress way. That's why Asmani Garcia and the Omega Home Realty Group is who you want to call. Sell your home for just $990. That's right, $990. No 6% commission. Asmani and Omega are the exclusive program director for just $990 in South Florida. Get full service real estate services like pro photos, beautiful brochures, Zillow and Alex, Realtor.com and Homes.com listings. Call Asmani to find out more at 305-440-1990. Scan the QR code or visit just990.com to get started. Omega Home Realty Group and Asmani Garcia are ready to present your home to thousands of prospective buyers. Call 305-440-1990. Call Asmani Garcia and tell him Big O sent you.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, boys and girls, from beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, sir. It's Thursday afternoon. There's only one place we should be. Second floor poker room. That's where we're at. Come on by. We always encourage you to come on by. We've got plenty of chairs and sofas, and we got the bar. We got the beautiful ladies serving you drinks and food. So you can have lunch while you're hanging out here watching the show. And then, of course, you can gamble, and you can watch all the races around the country or any sporting events, which at 3 o'clock, I would imagine that baseball will be coming onto the screens. And at 4 o'clock, the Marlins season will end before it even starts, which is, just an amazing thing. It's amazing how something is over before it starts. Yeah. I mean, sadly, there's some wives out there that say the same thing when they go to bed with their husbands. Anyways, so it's things like that. Over before it starts. And that's kind of the way it is. But anyways, you can enjoy yourself out here. Great food, great entertainment. And they're giving away a Mercedes-Benz here in, a couple days? The 29th, so Saturday night. Saturday night at 1 a.m., they're giving away your choice of Mercedes. So if you win, you can take the sports coupe or you can take the SUV. There you go. How about that? All you got to do is play the loose slots downstairs. Everybody loves a loose slot, of course. They're always hot, loose slots. And so you get every time you play, you get a chance in to win your Mercedes-Benz. Next go around, it's $50,000 in Bitcoin. How about that? How about that? That's going to be pretty cool right there. I'd like to win that one, man. Big time. Big time, big time, big time. That would be nice. That would be very nice if I could win that. Of course, we want to remind you that Welt and Rayom is a proud sponsor of our program. Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom, they do exceptional work. So if you are looking for lawyers you can count on, like a lot of our listeners have already over the last few years, and myself too, bankruptcy, which a lot of people sadly are dealing with that, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call our friends at Welt and Rayom, 954-966-4646. Ira Winderman will join us at 3:30. At the bottom of the hour, we will talk a little Heat basketball with the one and only Ira Winderman with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. And, of course, we will be at Acura tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to wrap up the month there at Acura with Larry Schlossberg and company. Heat in action tonight against Atlanta. And I got to tell you, you want to make it count. This tonight is about making it count. And what I mean by that is if you lose to Atlanta, what you did against Golden State and the Hornets don't mean shit. I mean, you just lost 10 games in a row. You're not playing well overall for a while now. Really, for the entire season, you haven't really played well. Well, you got only a few games left. You're like in the bottom end of the playoffs. Well, start building some momentum for the playoffs, for the play-in, whatever. Get your shit together. And tonight is a very winnable game against the Atlanta Hawks. A game you've lost already, right? They've already lost to the Hawks. Yeah. So, let's go, dude. You played really well against a bad Hornets team. You did what you were supposed to do. Then you took care of Golden State, even without Steph, because they had the star. You don't. Well, now let's go. Make it count. If you lose this game, it just doesn't mean shit. It was fun that you beat Jimmy, but in the bigger picture, well, it wasn't really about you getting better. It was just you about being, having a good night, and you were an upstart and you were motivated. And so that puts you over the top. And then that's kind of phony. But if you at least finish strong, and you got a lot of winnable games here, and at least you can feel a little bit better about yourself, and plus you're way under 500, start getting closer to 500. Let's go. Reel a bunch of victories. This is one that you should get. And don't embarrass yourself by losing to Atlanta after you've won your last two. See if you can actually show some consistency right now. That would be nice by the Miami Heat. You showed me some spine against Golden State. Show me that you can build on this and that you are now maybe a slightly better team. And maybe you are getting better. And this is just not a farce. And, you just got lucky and you won a game that everybody wanted to win, but you're still a sorry, pathetic bunch this year. You know what I mean? And that's what you would be by losing today, a sorry, pathetic bunch. So let's go. Get the victory today. Make it happen. Make it real. Make it matter. What you got?
No, I was going to say maybe they were motivated to win it for Andrew.
Right, no.
For Andrew Wiggins, maybe Draymond was on something. We'll find out tonight.
That's awesome. Oscar Ross spending a couple of hours on his 57th birthday. Thank you, Oscar. I am honored, sir. And happy birthday to you, sir. Happy birthday. 57. Damn. I just passed that last year. We're at 58 now. We're going for 59. We're going for 59 on October 1st. So good for you, bro. 57. All right. I like it. Happy birthday to you, Oscar. And everybody wish him a happy birthday out there. I see NorCal's the first. He's rolling and puffing. Jonathan Cagle is in. Ray Sosa, appreciating the support, showing NSU. Always, dude. They deserve. I mean, we've always talked about NSU's run the last couple of years and everything. So we all of South Florida sports. It doesn't matter where you're at. We talk about it all. Soccer doesn't matter. Basketball, football. We're going to give love to all of our local sports. If they're trying, we're going to try too. That's the key. If they're trying, try with the Marlins. We don't have to try. Jeff in Long Island is in. Looking forward to the baseball season. Not for us down here, to be quite honest. And I'll speak my piece in a moment here. Ty in the Bronx is in the house. Gus 1388. John Padilla. Emilio Navaez. Jay Gelfin in the house. He's loving his New York Yankees. Looking forward to the Heat having a winning streak. Yep, exactly. Let's get it. One-Eyed Jack. Jamie Zoria in San Jose. Always locked in. Thank you, sir. What else? Walter Olivares.
Brian Radke, Brian Landis, Frankie Fresco, Stephen A. and LeBron. Yeah, to me, I got to tell you, Frankie, this LeBron Stephen A. thing, it's perfect for the audience that likes just bullshit. To me, Stephen A. is just a clown on television that just is a mouth that just talks a lot of shit. Outside of basketball, he really doesn't follow most of the other sports. And, and LeBron James is just an attention, drama queen. And like, I've kind of watched, followed it in the periphery, and I don't really care to talk about it. Why? Because I think we're talking about two guys that just, they're just attention whores. That's all they are, dude. And LeBron's sensitivity and everything else, so for me, it's fake drama. LeBron ain't fighting with anybody. He just talks a lot of shit, and he has his own, what's that called? Passive-aggressive nature crap. And Screaming A is just, a clown on television that makes a lot of money doing the buffoonery that he does. God bless him for that. But I have zero respect for what he does, dude. Zero respect. Zero respect. So for me, outside of LeBron's actual playing as a player, I respect that. Everything else about LeBron, all that other stuff that comes with it, I have no time for it. I have zero respect for it. I think he's as soft as it gets. That's why it took him so damn long for the switch to finally come on in that Boston series. So, for me, all this drama BS between these two, it does nothing for me. I laugh at both of them, and I laugh at everybody that wants to follow this crap, to be quite honest, Frankie. So it's not compelling drama. It's nothing. They're not going to fight. It's not anything serious. Why doesn't Stephen A. speak bad of Cain Velasquez kid? There ain't going to be a lot of words said there. You know what I'm saying? It's all a bunch of garbage, bro. Anyway, by the way, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation too, which we love that, and we always appreciate that. That's another way to support our show and our program. Thank you all out there as always. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And of course, you can make a PayPal donation is the other one too. And the other way to help our show is we're looking to try, because right now we're not even close, to go to Spain and cover the Dolphins special game against, we don't know. Rumor has it it's the Bengals. The mayor in Madrid is the one that spilled the beans. And even spilled the date and everything, like in November. What was it, like 19th or 16th or something you said? Yeah, something like that. But anyway, so if you can make a donation there, Sean will show you the QR code you can use. The links are also on our social media pages. I should post it again. I haven't posted in a while, but it's there on our timeline. But you can use our QR codes there. Sean will show you, and if you can make a donation, we'd appreciate that immensely. So thank you all out there as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brian Radke, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What else do we have here? Marlins. So listen, you guys know I'm not going to be talking pretty much any Marlins all year long. I stopped talking about them. I told you, was it last year or the year before? I forgot year before, but today's the opening day, and I might as well mention it and all that. For those of you that don't know, I really don't care if the Marlins even exist anymore, to be quite honest. Where they're at now, it's really not even worth having them. So, not that they're ever going to go anywhere because they're tied to a lease and all that. They'll have to sell before anything, and maybe we could get like a real owner. But it's sad because our season for us is over. Like before it even started, you have no shot at anything as a Marlins fan. So that's kind of pathetic. You got Dan Marino throwing out the first pitch today, and they have to lean on a gimmick. What's that again? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. When they come home, they'll have Marino throw out the first pitch. And again, if you have a gimmick, you have nothing. That's all it is. It's a gimmick. The Sandy stuff, Sandy's giving away goodbye gifts already. He gave a goodbye gift. Nobody gives gifts to start off the season. Sandy does because Sandy's going to be traded soon. He knows it, and we all know it. The season's over before it started. It's interesting how baseball only matters in maybe 10 cities, 12 cities in the country, right? Like really matters. And only a few of those 12 cities actually have a legitimate shot at winning the title. The rest really have no chance. Where they're at today in Pittsburgh, no chance. Cincinnati, where they have a parade, no chance. You lied? What?
I lied to you, They are here tonight.
Yeah, they're here with Marino.
Yeah,
but anyway.
But they had said PNC Park on the thing, so I thought that was in.
No, it's a home opener. But anyway, so the bottom line is you got all these teams that have no chance. Marlins have no chance. They're using Luis Fonsi, was it Flow Rider too? After the game to have concerts. They got Marino throwing out the first pitch. This is all like gimmicks, right? Because this is all they have. Barbie night is coming. They're going to have all those stupid things because they can't. The product sucks. And then here's the other thing. Baseball has very few teams that even have a shot at a title. Very few cities that baseball actually matters. Okay? It's like a third of the league where it actually matters. And then you've got the other thing that people are writing about in baseball now. Having a super team in the Dodgers, is it bad for baseball? Well, let's delve into that. Let's see. You used to be the number one sport in the United States. Now you're number 3 at best. Soccer is creeping up and catching up big time to baseball. And in 20 years, soccer will be ahead of baseball, guaranteed, because all the youngsters are growing up loving soccer more than baseball. Okay? It's a reality. Basketball and football have surpassed baseball by miles. When I was a kid, baseball was number 1. By the time we got to the 80s, it was football. And then basketball started to grow from there because we started with the whole Bird Magic thing in 79, 80 in college and going into the NBA. And boom, basketball became fantastic and surpassed baseball also. We used to have like 30-something million was the peak in middle 80s. 83, 85 was the peak for baseball in the World Series. 30-something million, and it just has declined since. So for a dying sport, they need the Dodgers. The Dodgers are important to Major League Baseball. It's a team that you either will love or you're absolutely going to hate. And it reminds me a lot of the idiots that used to complain about the Yankees are buying this. Bro, those are the rules. They're not cheating. So when the Yankees load up, or the Dodgers are loading up now, and the Yankees don't have the balls to spend like the Dodgers. Steinbrenner, the old man, would have done something about that. But these Steinbrenners are soft. But either way, my point is, when they were buying everybody, or now that the Dodgers are buying everybody, those are the rules. They're not breaking any rules. They're paying their taxes. They're doing everything they're supposed. So they're not cheating. Those are the rules. And so the Dodgers end up becoming great for baseball because every town they go to, sell out. Every town they go to, that team, that's their playoff. Those 16, 20 other teams that have no shot at a title, no shot at a pennant. Those the ones we were talking about. When the Dodgers come to town, it's the biggest story in town for them. So it's a boost for baseball wherever they go. Pittsburgh, Miami, Tampa, Cincinnati, doesn't matter. Whatever weak sister or middling or whatever we're talking about, it's a boost to Milwaukee. So baseball is a dying sport. It's been dying for years. Why? Because its fans are like me and older. They're not gaining young fans. Young fans are going to the other sports. They're not going to baseball. So it's interesting how the dynamics of baseball are all screwed up. It favors the ultra rich. It doesn't favor the middling or the poor. Okay. So you have now alienated almost 2/3 of your fan base because they have no shot at a World Series. None whatsoever. Kind of sucks. And that's the thing about opening day. And then you have now a superpower in the Dodgers that turns a lot of people off. And in the end, it's like, most of you people that are insulted by it, you're really not even following baseball anyways. I'm not a heavy follower of baseball anymore, but I'm not insulted by what the Dodgers are doing. Neither was I by the Yankees. Why? Those are the rules, dude. And when the Red Sox are spending a ton, those were the rules. And when the Toronto Blue Jays had a hell of a team at one point in the 90s, those were the rules. And if you're willing to pay and you amass amount of talent and you can hang on to it and make a run, then you go ahead and do it. God bless you. Those are the rules. They're not cheating at all. So I don't get this hate for the Dodgers, to be quite honest. I don't. I think it's actually really, really good for baseball to have a super team and a like the ultimate what am I looking for? The dark side of it, like in Star Wars, it's good to have that. An evil empire. It used to be the Yankees, right? Like the evil empire. Well, the Dodgers, it's good for them to be the evil empire of baseball now. Somebody's got to be a lightning rod. And when we had Sosa McGuire, they were lightning rods hitting home runs. And when we had Barry Bonds with a big old head, he was a lightning rod. So it's good. Even when the Astros are winning, lightning rod. Good stories, bad stories to it. It's actually good for the sport. It brings attention to the sport. So it's actually a good thing. In every way, shape, and form, the Dodgers are good for baseball, especially for a dying sport like that. They need something extraordinary, something really special to promote. All right. What else do we have? NorCal says FMLB, FDAs, and F Axl Rose while I'm at it. Fins for life. Adam Pinkster says, Big O, I'm being a corporate time-stealing weasel today. I'm putting 50 on the Marlins losing 100 games. That is money in the bank. I love that. They'll definitely lose 100-plus games. I think they might be 110. I think they could be pushing 110 this year. So, yeah, I love it for them to lose. I mean, not that I'm going to enjoy it. Not that I'm really going to even watch much of it anyways. But it's my team. Yeah. Yesterday, Mad Dog Russo said Spoelstra has had a bad season this year. The Heat division under 500. No, I don't agree. And Mad Dog has a tendency of saying a lot of stupid shit. Cosa Nostra, Emilio Narvaez, Big O. Would you take a pick? Well, I already talked about this many times. Membu would be my number one guy, or if not, a couple of the other linemen there at that spot. But I'm taking an old lineman right there. There's 3 linemen that I would take at that spot. That's probably where I would kind of make my claim. Get an offensive guard, and I think they'll have an opportunity to do that. No, I would never draft a safety with my number 1 pick. Not this year. This has to be about the fat boys. We will repeat over and over again. This offseason has to be, the draft has to be about the fat boys so they can stop being disorderlies. Okay? Captain Saki checking in from the Gulf of America. Smashing the like button. I love it. Aquavision is in the house. So we can say baseball is like Formula One, very predictable. Yeah, pretty much. Unless they have a bunch of injuries. Emilio says, I miss Jeff Conan and Gary Sheffield. Yeah, but now you have Griffin Conan. So you're good. Little Griffin Conan. Big O, I hope Dolphins are good one time in my lifetime. I hope so too. It just won't be this year. Let's see what else. Marlins will never win the fan base back, Frankie, until they put together multiple seasons of winning and actually committed to players long term and all that kind of stuff. They've already won 2 titles. Winning a title isn't going to do shit for you. Look at what the Panthers are doing. That's all you got to do, bro. Maybe you're too young, but you don't remember that the Heat had to build it up and get a following. Because by the time Chaffel and Cunningham had to sell the team, people were shitting all over the Heat because they knew that Chaffel and Cunningham were a bunch of phonies. I think neither guy is with us anymore, and I'm sorry they've passed away. And I'm speaking ill of those who have passed away, but they had truly no interest in winning. It was all a money grab for them, and Heat fans got a feel for it. And then Arison steps in, and he has to build basketball from nothing, and he did, and he made it a culture by getting the right person and putting everything in place. And then the Panthers, you're old enough for that. Okay, you're not old enough to see and remember what happened then, but you're old enough to know the Panthers and how they did it all wrong until Viola and Sifu took over. And it took them several years to kind of tweak, and then we got it right, and then it's off and running. And now the Panthers are selling out. Their tickets are on demand. They've got a following now. They've got a buzz. That's the only way you do it. Here's the opposite of the Marlins. Yet they're spending money. You know who I'm about to say? Who's the opposite of the Marlins, not really building a fan base, but yet they're spending money? Inter Miami. Inter Miami hired a bunch of fucking mercenaries, pardon my French. And once they're gone, the fan's gone. They're not getting tied to the team. And so they got a bunch of fair-weathered Argentine fans that are going for Messi. And if they know he's not playing, they don't show up. They don't even go to any of the, other type of league games and all that. They don't care about that shit. And if he's not playing, he's out. And once they're gone, all those people are gone because they don't care about Inter Miami. And Inter Miami's done something really bad while they're spending all the money. They should have had a local tie right next to Messi. They should have invested in a young guy that you're sure has got, you're going to invest all this money in older guys, right? Well, steal a young guy from somewhere that's got stud qualities, got maybe also bilingual, so you can market the kid here. He can speak. That's the other thing, dude. You're pulling all the shit that the Panthers have had too, that you got all those European guys that don't speak English, and then you kind of market. And it sucks, dude. You're in America, bro. Speak English. So that's what Inter Miami should have done. They should have found somebody that they can market and put him next to Messi. And then while Messi's starring, the other kid is growing and starring next to him. And then when Messi's gone, the kid takes over. And then now you've got youngsters growing up with him because he's not going anywhere. Because you've got the kind of front office and ownership that will pay. And that's how you got to do it, because kids are growing up with Barkov. For the last 10 years, they're growing up with Barkov. That means the world, dude. That means the world. Barkov is going to end up in the Hall of Fame. And there are going to be a generation of kids that grew up with Alexander Barkov becoming a champion, maybe a multiple champion. That is so important. And you're not going to have that ever here with Inter Miami because you don't know how to build it. And you're not ever going to have it with the Marlins because you don't keep anybody. Even when Loria would sign somebody, he'd backload a contract because he knew that he'd have them for a couple of years. And then once the big money kicked in, he'd trade them all. That's exactly what he would do. So you never built anything with the fan base, and you never built any trust. There's trust in the Heat, and there's trust in the Panthers because they'll spend. I think we all trust that Inter Miami will spend, but Inter Miami on the marketing side really just doesn't get this shit. They're just going for the quick money grab, and unfortunately, they're failing there because they're not going to make a lot of money. In fact, I'd be surprised if they're making any money. I think they're losing their ass on this Messi deal. So it's really important to have Alonzo Mourning for a long time on your team. And Dwayne Wade for a long time on your team, and now Bam Adebayo. It's really important to build the culture, your fan base, like the Panthers are doing with Barkov now. And then we'll see if Lundell, or Samostevich, any of these other young guys that come up, do they pick up the baton down the line? And 8 years from now, when Barkov has retired, one of those guys takes over. And I think it's just so important that if you're going to build a culture and you're going to build trust with your fan base, that you keep Jason Taylor around and Zach Thomas and Dan Marino and so on and so forth and Richmond Webb and all that. While the Dolphins don't win, at least you trust them to keep their players and sign them and all those kind of things, just like the Heat, just like the Panthers. And that's something that Inter Miami, while they're spending in the mercenary way. They're not really establishing something long-term. And that's going to be a problem because they're going to have a transient connection with their fan base. And that's not going to be good because it's going to be up and down your attendance. And that's not good. You know what I mean? So the Marlins are way far from that, Frankie, to give you that entire explanation. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. Good afternoon, Ira. Revenge was sweet.
It was, you know what? You wait all season for moments. And a season like this that has not had many moments, Big O, you take it and you move on. And at least I get to join you this week in our Acura Pembroke Pines report on a winning streak.
Yeah.
So you live in the moment, you enjoy the moment. But that was so much. You go back in the days like the Jeremy Lin game and other games. When Spoelstra gets his team uniquely focused, they still can do incredible things no matter the roster. And I think we saw some of that on Tuesday night against Jimmy Butler. Fortunately, Jimmy Butler and not Steph Curry also, or else all those missed threes would have been made threes, and you and I probably will be talking about a different outcome.
Yeah, I mean, the Rex Chapman game, when I was a season ticket holder, I remember carrying my wife, who was my girlfriend then, on my shoulders, coming down the stairs, and we beat Utah. You remember that? In the expansion year when we beat Utah, we kind of basically that year I believe we beat Detroit and Utah, I want to say. But the Utah one was at home. I remember specifically because I was a season ticket holder, and we were sitting the second level, and I remember I carried my wife on my shoulders, and we were coming down the stairs and going crazy. Something that I would probably die if I tried to do that now, which is hilarious. But yeah, those are those moments, and to me, that's what that felt like. That night that you needed to kind of wash yourself of all this crap.
Good point.
And it was important for you to defend your franchise. You know what I mean? And I was proud of the fans that booed, and I was proud of the way the Heat carried themselves because they showed a spine that night. And
Sure.
I thought that was important. I really did.
Yeah, and again, Steph Curry being out made all the difference, but good for the Heat, good for the moment. Again, there's all kinds of lottery odds and benefiting by losing, but they realized what that day meant. Again, they had to do the video. The Heat do videos for players who either won championships with the team or were named all-stars with the team. So it would have looked very petty to have a Goran Dragic video and not have a Jimmy Butler video. I do think the Heat waited, though, so in case Jimmy tossed another grenade and said one more thing, they had the optionality until the actual game to decide what direction to go in, or at least until the day before when they made the formal announcement. So there was a lot of pins and needles. And look, you saw the meaningful differences between two players. Andrew Wiggins was hugged and embraced by every member of the Warrior staff because he is a good human being. Jimmy Butler said hello to his two friends who live at his house, who were sitting in the stands, who were wearing Joy sweatshirts just to mock the Heat, and then went right into the living room. That's the difference. Went locker room, rather, probably living room, but only after. And that's the difference. Jimmy Butler is about Jimmy Butler Incorporated.
Right.
And that's why it was difficult from the get-go to make something work with Jimmy Butler. Andrew Wiggins is about team. Bam Adebayo about team. Tyler Hero about team. And believe me, as this story plays out further down the road, you're going to hear all kinds of things about how Jimmy Butler made it difficult. But you and I have spoken now for weeks on our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Jimmy Butler tossed a grenade in this locker room and couldn't have given a rat's ass what the carnage was on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was really happy that they stuck it to him and the block and everything else that went along with it. And Khalil Ware came up with one of the greatest Heat plays in Heat history, by the way. It's a top 10 play to that drive. I mean,
totally accidental, but I totally get where you're coming from. So have yourself a moment, kid. There were a bunch of guys who had moments. There was a bunch of maturity I wrote about today with Tyler Hero. And if ever we needed that moment when there was the true passing of the torch, this was the game. Yes. Jimmy exits stage right. Bam Adebayo step up for his team in his team's probably, I think you'd say, biggest game of the year.
Yes.
Steps up and takes over. So I think we saw the passing of the torch on Tuesday night. The Heat move on to whatever they might become. And the Warriors move on to whatever they might become. But there's still a reality that Jimmy Butler for the third straight year could find himself in the play-in. And that would be a hoot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I got to tell you something. What I loved about that game was because since, this is the whole thing about it, right? Okay, I'm glad that Steph didn't play, but I'm also glad that Jimmy was there because, apparently, Miami has no stars. So the Warriors were down to one star, right? Because that
right.
Star. So, the star should carry over the team with no stars. Well,
not who he is.
Exactly, and that's my point. And
you've been talking for years on our Acura Pembroke Pines report how Jimmy is a number two, is a beta, is a Robin, to a Batman and needed someone else. And here's what's interesting to this whole trade. Jimmy Butler for months was talking back through back channel. He didn't want to go somewhere and be number two. He didn't want to win his first NBA championship on the coattails of someone. Well, what Tuesday night showed us, and the rest of the season will show us, is this was, is, and always will be Steph Curry's team.
Of course.
And if Jimmy Butler wins a championship, it won't be Jimmy Butler as series MVP. I highly doubt it. It'll be Steph Curry. He is the Warriors. Jimmy Butler decided, you know what? I'll be a number 2 because the number 2 still gets a 2-year, $112 million extension, washes his hands, takes the money, and that's it.
That's right. That's right. And listen, Jimmy Butler-led Warriors have gotten their asses handed to them the last 2 nights with Atlanta and then Miami. So, Steph, hurry back because you're going to start falling in the standings again after climbing out of it because, again, he's not the number 1.
Absolutely.
Now, on the flip side, on the Heat side now, and I got to be a little bit more now brutal about this, okay? If you want the Golden State game to matter a little bit more, don't freaking lose this game tonight.
No,
okay?
when you look at the rest of the Heat schedule,
exactly,
there are 3 games that are going to be killer games. There is a game in Boston to end this trip, the next night against Memphis, 2 nights later against Milwaukee. But when you look at the rest of the schedule, you have Atlanta, you have 2 against Philadelphia, you have 2 against Washington, you're going to have Chicago, you're going to have New Orleans, you're going to have ample chances to win. Now, the sad thing is it won't really impact them being in the 9-10 first play-in game. But you know what? Create some hope. And I'm going to write this for my Ask Ira tomorrow.
Create momentum. Create momentum.
Yes, Chicago is. Like Chicago is at the moment, creating hope also for the future. Because you know what, Big O? We haven't seen really the chance for Wiggins and Bam and Hero to all get together and to play together. I need to see that these next 2 weeks. That's what would make these next 2 weeks meaningful. I want to have a hard decision. I want to go in the offseason and go, should I trade Wiggins or should I build around him? Should I extend Tyler? I know how you feel on that. Or should we build around him? But give me 2 weeks and give Orlando Alzagari 2 weeks to say, that was an interesting run. I wonder what. I'd like to see that.
You know what I'd like how to end the season? I'd like for you. I know you're going to be in the play-in. I want you to end the season strong here, win most of your games, play well like you have the last 2 games, like you've looked like a good team the last 2 games. Play well, get out of the play-in. Yeah, you got to play Cleveland, but be a pain in the ass to Cleveland in a series. Take them to 5 or 6 games.
Come back with 3 at home. It's interesting. Today's the day the Heat put postseason ticket alerts out. Well, if they're in the 9-10 game, there's a chance they won't have a play-in game. And if the only playoff game then would be in the first round, would be against Cleveland, would be against the target of Donovan Mitchell coming in, Max Strus coming in, you could still have some fun. And after all this team went through with Jimmy Butler, even if it's a losing record, to come back in the playoffs and do white hot one more time, hell yeah, I think it would be meaningful. I agree.
It would show you that these guys overcame all this bullshit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that to me, that's kind of what you did right now against Jimmy. And again, the game before against Charlotte.
Sure.
You kind of put together. I don't know if you've done this all season to play that well in back-to-back without Jimmy like that. So now let's get on a little roll here and let's finish it strong and then prove that you don't belong in the play-in. Prove that you're better than them. Get out of there and then see what you can do against Cleveland. Nobody expects you to beat them, but if at least you can go out there and be a pain in the ass and steal a game or 2, then it becomes a respectable end to the season, considering you have no stars.
And considering your leading man tossed a grenade into your locker room and couldn't have given a rat's butt and impacted 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 games because in the end, that's who he was.
Totally. I am with that. And, and hey, listen, for LeBron James, he didn't become that guy until game 6 against Boston here in Miami.
Right.
Before that, he wasn't that guy.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is what leads Bam to be that guy because he played like a pissed off dude the other night.
Yes, like we say in Yiddish, like a mensch, like a real man, like someone who has something to go in there and to prove something. And that's who he can be. And again, he's never going to be your number 1 because he doesn't have that offensive mindset.
Right.
It's just who he is and you accept it. But if Wiggins becomes this 20-plus point a game scorer, and all of a sudden he and Tyler are giving you 50 points as a head start, your offense won't go to crap, and you could wind up in a better spot. The thing about Wiggins is he's a two-way player. That means something. His defense was very good against the Warriors. That's what Tyler isn't. It's going to be interesting, Big O. The Heat's ultimate plan, it's like this poo-poo platter of future. They might choose Wiggins and Adebayo and make Tyler the odd man out in a trade. That's what's going to be interesting also. So again, are the Heat going to have a losing record? Yes. Are they going to be in the play-in? Yes. But can these last 2 weeks of the season have meaning? I fully believe that also can be a yes.
Well, I mean, it's about finding out what you're all about.
Yes.
And you really didn't have, because of the whole Jimmy mess, you never really had that like clear path of no distractions. Now
their January and their February were crossed off the schedule. January and February never existed for the Miami Heat in the 2024-25 season because of one selfish, self-important, self-indulgent, self-serving, self-centered player.
Right.
That's why. So literally, the Heat had a couple of interesting months at the start, a couple of interesting months at the end, and this big grenade that went off in the locker room in the middle. That's how I'd sum up this season.
Yeah, and to me, that's why this ending is so important now.
Yes.
And that's why. Now, here's the key. I really believe this. We need to convince Bam Adebayo that Butler plays for every team that's left on the schedule.
No, we need to convince Bam Adebayo that you had your Jimmy Butler moment, and now you can play every game remaining on the schedule, that you are the unquestioned alpha.
Like that.
Yes.
Play pissed.
Yes. Show that. You know what, Big O? I'll compromise with you. Show that video to him before every game. That I agree with.
Yes. Do something to piss him off. I don't know what it is.
Good point.
Okay. Tell him that the player tonight in Atlanta, somebody hit on Asia Wilson. They're going on her DMs.
I will not do that. But I will tell him that Trae Young is Jimmy Butler's best friend, if that helps you. I'll try to do that.
There you go. See, there you go.
I'll meet you halfway, Big O.
That whatever it takes, but do whatever it takes to piss off Bam Adebayo. That's I like a pissed off Bam. See, that's what I loved about Alonzo Mourning. He was
he was pissed off every day of his life until he got older. Sure.
I mean, that was beautiful about Zoe. He had that scowl the entire freaking time. It was freaking awesome. All right, what do you got going in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
No, I wrote a story about Tyler Hero today, how he's really showing his maturity. 2 moments happened in the last week. They beat Charlotte on Sunday. Tyler still took a bunch of 2-point shots. Eric Spoelstra tried to explain it. They're playing him differently. They're doing all that. And Tyler came in after and said, no, I've gotten away from my preferred shot profile. I should not. I've got to get back to being at the rim and on 3-pointers. And he took ownership, even when his coach was going to cover for him. Last game, he was getting blitzed by really good defenders. Gary Payton II, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and he didn't force the action. He made the right play like leading men do. So he still might be baby goat. He still might be boy wonder, but he's maturing in front of our very eyes.
Well,
So
and he didn't flinch when Riley said he was fragile.
And show up. And tonight tonight he will hit. Well, last game he had 70 games for the first time in his career. So he has done what Jimmy Butler didn't. He has shown up on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a great point. He has shown a ton of maturity throughout all of this. Instead of taking the easy way out with excuses or whatever, he has, which, by the way, I got to defend him a little bit here. If they're all over your ass on the 3-point line and you're crafty enough to go inside and get an easy basket because you know how to lay a floater or something off the glass or whatever, then, God bless you, dude.
Right.
That get production one
can't
way.
Be too much of that because
I get
twos aren't worth as much as threes.
It can't be too much of that because this team can't afford it, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? But
and here's the other thing, and I wrote about this in my Ask Ira, and I think this is a worth talking point also, real quick before I get out of here. Look who the Heat haven't played last game and last few games. Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and Duncan Robinson. God bless them all for the moments they had, but I love it, the moments of truth. Eric Spoelstra is saying, either you make us better or you can sit there and being in the cheering section. I like that about this team. Nothing gifted. Either you're productive or you have to wait your turn. We haven't seen Terry in a week. We haven't seen Jaime for any appreciable minutes, none last game, till garbage time. And now even with Duncan out, Alec Burks really stepped up for them in the last game as well.
He wants guys that have less holes in their game at the moment, so he
Correct.
doesn't have to over compensate for some of that stuff, and that makes his job easier as a coach. I get it. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel and support the man and all the other people that work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up next week.
Catch you on the road next week in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. That is Ira Winderman, and he is off and running. And Acura Pembroke Pines, we will be there tomorrow at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Be out there hanging out with Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto. I saw Tony Stampone, by the way, over at the Subaru dealership the other day. It was pretty cool. By the way, you can spring into performance sales event. It is going on right now. Have you seen the all-new ADX? That thing is absolutely beautiful. $359 a month right now. The lease features just arrived. Take advantage. And, of course, they are the number one volume sales dealership when it comes to Acura in the Southeast United States, baby, and in the United States, period. So you're really not going to drive around the United States or the Southeast, right? So you're going to just go to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, and the 2025 Integra, $339 a month. You can get 3.9% financing for 60 months. The ZDX, get electrified. The A-Spec, $439 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. That is awesome. The RDX, we've had two in our family. We have one right now because my wife drives it. 2025 model. You can check it out. Special low financing rate. And the MDX Tech, we will take $10,000 off the MSRP for the 2025, baby. So check it out at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business. There is no better Acura dealership than Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the number one volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. Thank you all, as always, for supporting us and support our amazing sponsors. All right. Thank you. True Fin Fan, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Ira, I'm managing 199 super chats. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. But I really mean it. Like, you got to come through tonight. You got to come through tonight. You have to show up, bro. I mean, it cannot happen where you are half-assing this, and after you played two beautiful games. Okay. And I know the first one was against a shitty team that you should have beaten, and you did. But then the other one, you took care of business. You know who also takes care of business? Omega Home Realty Group and Osmani. Listen, when Osmani Garcia takes over, okay, he is the man. All right. And the website is just990.com. That's just990.com. Call them at 305-440-1990, and you can use the QR code. And the 990 program, it's pretty easy. You can sell your home for $990. It's exactly like you would get with a regular realtor, all right? You get the brochures, you get the color brochures, you get all of that, the compelling ad copy, and they will add you to MLS, Zillow, Realtor.com, and Homes.com. And you only pay $990. And what I love about it is you set the preset showtimes. All right. That way, everybody then, the buyers will go. And sometimes you'll get multiple buyers to show up. And that creates a very competitive atmosphere. Now, it doesn't end there because, the regular commission is 6%. So you're only paying $990, and you're getting all the exposure that you would from a real realtor. Well, Osmani on the other side is also trying to sell your home. And if he's able to get somebody else that didn't see the ad and all that and makes the highest offer, you only pay 2.5%, and the $990 is waived. So either way, you're not going to ever pay the 6% that you would pay with a regular realtor. So call Osmani Garcia. I've known him for 15 years. This is as stand-up a guy. And by the way, he is the program director of not just South Florida, but the entire state of Florida when it comes to the 990 program. You want to find out more? Go to the website, just990.com. That's the website, just990.com. Call my guy, Osmani Garcia. I promise you, nobody's going to work harder to sell your home and save you money. You'll have more money to take a vacation, maybe the moving expenses. What you save there, you can use it for the moving expenses. 305-440-1990 or use that QR code and call my guy, Osmani, and Osmani Garcia at Omega Home Realty Group, and check out the 990 program. You will love it. Osmani is good people, man. All right. Let's do it. Let's start off hour number 2 with the one and only Steve Calibro, who, of course, is just looking forward to watching the Giants. Not that he's necessarily a Giants guy, but, you know, the whole Tommy DeVito thing. I'm going with two crazies and a paisan.
Listen, I feel like I'm a little hungry for some veal cutlets. I don't know what is that something? Is it like a telecommunication connection?
Or, well, once you say Tommy Cutlets,
Tommy Cutlets,
crab legs,
that's
and
like
cutlets.
That's Italian surf and turf.
Yeah,
that's Italian surf and turf. Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. It's delicious. It's quite delicious.
So one guy has.
So I guess it's a no-brainer. DeVito's the starter.
For sure.
Right? It's a no-brainer.
The other
right?
two guys just aren't sane enough to start. One guy's going to be exercising on the plane down the aisle.
Yeah.
Then the other guy's going to be
throwing interceptions.
Crab songs and interceptions.
Yeah, lots of interceptions.
Yeah, and then so DeVito's like,
he's the guy.
DeVito's like the only sane person in that quarterback room.
That's a reach. That's a little bit of a reach.
No, it's
well, you're not talking about his agent. You're not talking about, you're talking about Tommy. You're not talking about the
what
agent.
Is it? Stello, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever his name. He's got the.
He's a trip, bro.
Oh, I love him. I love. He's all Jersey. I don't even think he's from Jersey. I think he's from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But he looks all Jersey. He went to Jersey and said, "I'm going to be like a Jersey guy." You know?
Yeah.
He has a desire. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Sean's got a little. I want to be a Jersey guy.
But he's got the look and everything down to a T.
With
the fedora and everything.
The hat, the fedora. It's not a hat. It's a fedora.
It's a fedora. Always. It's a fedora. That guy's got it going on. But man, I thought of you right away when I saw all those. I mean, I'm like, what the hell are the Giants? There's no way they're drafting Shedeur Sanders now.
And I do apologize in advance because I have to run in a couple minutes. But I will tell you, I'm going to go on record. I want to go on record saying that there might be at least one worse football organization than the Dolphins, and that is the New York Giants. They are the worst. They are the worst. Now, believe me, the Dolphins are. And Big O and I talked about.
But at least the Giants have a couple championships recently, man.
Yeah, but recently it's like you're talking double digits now. It's been 10 years at least.
Doggy, I'm going 50. I was a kid.
I know.
I'm 58. They won when I was 7 and 8.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that puts it into perspective.
Half a century, buddy.
You were in like third grade, second or third grade, and.
But I'm 7 and 8, and my dad's like, "Give me 5," and we're
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And a 7 or 8 year old isn't a 7 or 8 year old now in 2025.
No, it's a real 7 or 8 year old.
We're like so remedial at 7 or 8 in 1970.
Now they have cell phones and iPads.
Yes.
No, they have iPads. They truly have iPads.
Yes. An 8-year-old will have a phone.
Yeah. Phone, iPads, the whole 9 yards.
I couldn't handle a dial thing when I was 8 years old. Like, give me a break, dude. I mean,
listen, this Saturday, 1 a.m.
Mercedes.
Choose your Mercedes.
That's it.
And then I don't know what that logo is on his hat. I'm not really sure. But I think it's similar to a little bit of a promo we're doing next month. Starts next month, giving away some Bitcoin.
I don't know. I think me and the wife will be playing a couple extra slots next month.
Get a couple entries in,
Just
right?
a couple extra slots next month.
There you go. There you go. I mean, look at that. Choice of a Mercedes. I mean,
And that red sports.
The red one's looking nice, huh?
Oh, it looks so
Man,
good.
It looks good.
So good.
I hope my wife doesn't come by because she needs a car. That could be a little pricey. That could be that could cost me some money.
Yeah.
I love her dearly, but I don't want her. She comes by here and she can say, "Honey, there's the car."
Well, I can't afford it. I can only try to win it. So
she always
try to win it.
I can't afford it either. That's why she doesn't come by. Right? She always tells me around Christmas. She goes, "How come you don't get me one of those cars with the big red bow?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like whatever those TV commercials, they should not be allowed. They should not be allowed.
By the way, True Fin Fan says, Sean, Steve, I'm having king crab tonight.
What about cutlets?
He sent in a super chat.
What about his cutlets?
Apparently, he's more turned on by the crabs.
Well, I don't know if I'd say it that way, but king crab is quite delicious.
Yes, it is.
It's very expensive. I went to a nice restaurant.
Oh yeah, man, of course.
A casual place. I'm talking like an oyster bar. Not high end. Nice, good, great food up in Jensen Beach called Krabby's Oyster Bar. The king crab was $89.
Oh wow,
$89.
Well,
I'm in a casual place in a strip mall.
That's some inflation.
$89. I thought maybe they were gonna, they're gonna put me on the boat and let me see how they caught it and everything.
Yeah, no, everything.
Oh my lord,
$89.
$89. Now Dungeness was only $59. Only 50. Do you hear the words I'm even saying? Dungeness is only $59. I thought that was like $15-20. I don't know. When did this happen? At any rate, I just wanted to stop by. I wanted to complain one more thing about the Dolphins.
Oh, there's lots of things to complain about.
I want to know if anybody, if your viewers have this belief or this.
And by the way, back to the Giants before you go to the Dolphins. I don't think they're drafting Shador now.
I thought they were, but I guess they're not.
No. Why would you draft? Why would you sign both those crazy dudes?
No, but
you'd only sign Cutlet and one of those guys, and then draft Shador.
Well, I think I hate to say this.
They'll
I can't
dump
even believe
Tommy Cutlets.
They're going to dump the Cutlet, man. Yeah, he's going to go into the. Oh no!
God, poor Shador. Shador has to hang around those two guys.
Oh my God! Talk about a bad influence.
Yeah, that's just not.
That's like bad, worse and worse. But anyhow, so the. But I think
that'll ruin the kid.
Crush him. I think that there's only about 10, maybe a dozen NFL organizations that really have their shit together.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of them are making so much money, they don't care.
Yes.
They got TV money, they got ticket sales, they got concession sales, they got whatever else they do in their stadium. I really think there's only about maybe it's less than 10.
And you know what? The Bengals are one of those teams, but this year I think the old man said, we never spend.
I said that a month ago.
I've made so much money over my life. Let me just spend this one time and see if we could go at it.
I think that the Bengals now their only question is defense.
Yeah, they're still not good enough on the now, and they still have to sign their pass rusher.
Right, but here's what the score is going to be.
Trey Hendrickson is an owl. You know that he's an FAU owl, and he has back-to-back 17 sack seasons here.
But they're going to sign him. They'll sign him.
Well,
they're negotiating. But they're going to sign him.
But they allowed his agent to go seek a trade. So, but they do want to sign him. But I'm saying you got to sign him, and you still aren't good enough on defense. So you better sign him. But
you got to sign him. They got a choice.
Props to Mike Brown because he's doing something I never thought he would.
Cincinnati's going to be good this year. Put him on. Put whoever.
If Burrow stays healthy.
I think the games.
If Burrow stays healthy.
And he will. I think he will.
Oh.
I think he will. I'm feeling it. This year, I'm feeling it with Cincinnati. I'm feeling it.
It's all right. It's not a great offensive line.
It's better than the Dolphins' offensive line. But the scores are going to – it's going to be –
so much.
It's better than last place. No, the scores are going to be 50-40. That's what the score. That's what it's going to be like. That's why it's going to be fun to watch Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They're going to give up a bunch of points. They're going to have to come back and score a lot of points. It's going to be fun.
And they say that that's the Spain game.
Spain game.
Miami, Cincinnati. The mayor in Madrid accidentally let the cat out of the bag, and he even said the date. What was it? November what?
November 16,
Oh,
and
really?
which all makes sense and everything because it's all slows down for soccer for them and everything and all that. So,
But you know,
that's
I'm
kind of
glad
funny.
you touched on it. I'm going to leave with this. I'm not a big fan of this whole European thing.
No, I get it.
I
bro.
don't like it.
Yeah.
Stop. Well, I know that's true. That too. Put more games in Jersey. But listen, it's just weird. I mean, it's just you got a team from the West Coast going to like, Munich. Come on, that's crazy. It's just too
Selling
much.
international, man.
It's too much of a money grab. It's too much to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is business, and they get to do whatever they want.
Like if they're smart, I make a division in Europe, man.
Well, that's what they're going to get to. There's going to be 4 teams in Europe. They're going to
You gotta build a team in Europe. You gotta build a division in Europe, not one team, 4 teams.
Pick 4 teams,
and
that's what they're doing over the last.
And that
10,
way,
15
and then you'll
years.
go to 20 games, and you'll have 2 bye weeks, and you'll have the bye week for your international game that everybody will have, and you'll have your bye week for your Thursday game.
Yeah, I hate
That's
it.
it.
It's just can we just?
But it's a revenue stream.
No kidding. And
Yeah.
that's all. One thing I'm going to leave with this thing. Big O taught me something. I was one time bitching about that the NFL should think about the fans and the fans and the fans, and he said, "Steve, what are you crazy? Like, did you bump your head or something this morning? Like, the NFL doesn't care about the fans; they care about money. It's about money. So, I mean, look, it's still a great game.
Yeah.
Keep it as pure as I can. I mean, I guess I'm still rooting for Chuck Bednarik.
Yeah.
The last guy to go.
So the head injuries and everything has been so real that you have to do the responsible thing here, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? It's not the days of the gladiator.
I'm gonna bring
where
something
you're
here.
sitting there in the Roman in the stands in the Colosseum, and you're like, oh, the lion ate him. Wow, but he did fight him off for about 5 seconds.
Listen, I collect memorabilia, sports memorabilia. I'm going to bring this. I don't know if it's up in Jersey. So next time I go to Jersey, I got to bring it back. It's a photograph. Frank Gifford on the ground. Bednarik is above him. I meet Chuck Bednarik in like this meet and greet thing. Very angry guy. Last guy to go. He not only did he
The
go
instigator.
Not only did he go offense, defense, he played special teams.
Yeah.
He didn't get off the field, right?
Yeah.
This guy was angry at the NFL. He was angry at the Eagles. He was angry at anybody walking down the street.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, Chuck, I was like, I was an adult. I was like 40 years old. So I said, hey, Chuck, can you sign this? And he said, yeah, give me it. He yelled at me practically. And he signed. He goes, hey, Frank, game over. Chuck Bednarik. He had broken. And that was a picture of him breaking Frank Gifford's leg. This is a nasty dude.
Oh, yeah,
This guy would kill people. This guy was a nasty dude.
Yeah,
but
Chuck Bednarik
that's when
was known
football
for
was
that.
Football.
Yeah, that's
anyhow.
so. Chuck
Mercedes this
Bednarik and
weekend.
Lyle Alzado were like,
come on,
the norm.
Loved Lyle. Now he had a little problem with
Matuzak.
with the roids, right? I guess things down there started tripling and doubling.
Matuzak had his issues with that too.
another crazy one. Yeah, the Raiders were the real deal, and then the purple people eater. I mean, come on, the purple monster, whatever they call the Vikings.
Yeah, he would hit you with the
slap
slap.
you upside the head.
What was the name of that defensive end that would hit you with this? Carl Ellard, right?
Carl Eller.
Yeah.
Carl Eller. These guys were nasty.
Yeah.
Guys, anyhow.
Yeah.
I got to run.
You got to
be good.
Be good.
Be good, guys.
All right.
Remember,
The great Steve Calibro.
veal cutlets for all.
And Mercedes, Saturday night, 1 a.m. Your choice of Mercedes if you win. So come on out here, play the loose slots, and win. And by the way, you got the $100 no regret first bet. There's the QR code right there you can use. All right. Did you get a happy ending with the $89 king crab? Should at least, right? For $89. True FinFest says, my father-in-law is the head chef and brother-in-law is the manager for Billy's Stone Crabs in Las Olas. They're always bringing us the goods. Married the right one. Nice. Big O teaches us all something. My grandson shall be named Little O. Thank you, my brother. Too kind of you. Why not just have the EFL, an entire Euro football league with a handful of games played versus current NFL teams? Because it wouldn't be the NFL. So it would be a make-believe league. It's got to be part of the NFL. And I don't even know if I'll be around for it, because maybe it's 20 years from now. But eventually, I think in the next 10 to 20 years, you need to evolve and have a division in Europe. Eventually.
Like I've said before, I've mentioned this 100 times already for years now. A team in Barcelona, a team in Paris, a team in Berlin, and a team in London. Okay, and that's it. You have those 4 cities. You have an international practice facility with hotel and everything built there centrally. So then the American teams that come over, they go to that practice facility and hotel. And Europe is kind of very close to each other, so you can fly off to the games from there. You know what I'm saying? And then you do the same thing. You build an international practice facility somewhere in central United States, probably in the lower half where you don't face as much snow. And then all the international teams can fly over there and hang out there, and then they can travel for their road games. And they come, and then all the teams, what they do is they go over for a couple of weeks, is what they do. And they stay over in the United States for a couple of weeks, and then they play a couple of games, and then they fly back. And then they have the bye week. And then the same thing. U.S. teams would go over, play a couple of games, then fly back, have a bye week, boom. And then you go back and you have your next couple of games. You have 2 trips out to Europe or something like that, you know, and you cover it that way. Or you stay for 3 weeks, actually. Since you're in a division, you stay for 3 weeks instead of 2. And you stay in that international practice facility. You play your 3 teams in the division. Those are your road games. And then they'll do the same thing when they go on the road there. That's it. That's how you do it, man. And you get away with it, and you create another division, and then Europe is part of the NFL in that sense, and you're off and running, you know? And you've got all that international money coming in because you'll have more. All those Europeans they'll gravitate to those 4 teams. Even if they live, all of Germany will pull for that Berlin team, you know? And then people in Europe that aren't in those specific countries that they will gravitate to. The Irish might be rooting for the London team, you know, shit like that. So who knows? Maybe you'll have the Italians rooting for the French, right? Who knows? Right? I don't know. Well, something like that. But that's always been my idea, the way you do it. And then you extend it to 20 games, obviously, and 18 games, and you have 2 bye weeks. That way it's 20 weeks. Fantasy players will love it because now you have 20 weeks of fantasy. And it's healthier for players because now they'll have a bye week for their Thursday game, and they'll have a bye week for their international trips. That's it. So that's how I would handle it. But that's just me. What the hell do I know? What else do we have? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? Alan Blanco, phenomenal work, custom printing and embroidery. So if your corporation, your company, you need it, call them. Your school, uniforms, hats, shirts, whatever it is, they do it. You can do all of that through Zoom and everything else in email. It's his cell number right here. You can reach out to the owner, Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Tonight at 9:30, Division II Final Four. Nova Southeastern, the number 1 seed, taking on number 4 seed, Washburn University. Go Sharks. 7:30 tonight, the Miami Heat look to make it 3 in a row. They take on Atlanters at the Kaseya Center. They're favored by 1.5. The over and under is 228. Let's go. Make that Golden State win matter. Friday night at Amerant Bank, it is the Panthers hosting Utah, soon to be the Mammoth. At least that's what the rumor is. Marlins and Pirates opening up today. The only time I will mention it because it's opening day. Saturday, Inter Miami taking on the Philadelphia Union. Inter Miami favored by -170 on the money line. Philadelphia +340 on the money line. Fort Lauderdale United, the number 1 team in the USL Super League standings. They are off this week. Next week, they will visit the Tampa Bay Sun FC at Riverfront Stadium, 7 o'clock. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Right. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we always love that. You can make a donation through PayPal too. It's another way, especially for those of you that watch or listen overseas. You can make a donation on PayPal as always. Thank you. And remember, you can help us go to Spain. We want to go to Spain and cover the week of the Dolphins in Spain. We will do our show all week long out there. We will do it at a sports bar in Spain. And then we will do our pre- and post-game show out there in Spain. So if you can help us, use the QR code. You get your phone, focus, use that photo, and then hit that link there on the QR code and make whatever donation you can to help us go to España to cover a special event. They say it's Dolphins and Bengals, and it'll be in November 16 or something. So that'll be cool because by then we'll know what kind of season the Dolphins are having, and hopefully that game matters a lot. It would be really, really cool. Okay? That would be absolutely awesome if they can do that. Ryan Stonehouse is the new punter for the Dolphins. So I'm thinking Curaleaf sponsorship for him. I mean, the guy's name is Stonehouse. Right? A dispensary. What would be the Tyreek sponsorship? Condoms? It's a guy that should use condoms. No, we know he doesn't, but if you don't want to have 13 kids, use Trojan. Don't be like Tyreek and make the mistake. You know? Right?
You could use them as the anti against that. Yeah. You definitely wouldn't be able to speak on the product.
Ticket Clinic? Aren't those the people that do the speeding tickets?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
If you have speeding issues like Tyreek Hill, by the way, Ticket Clinic, you guys can call me if you want to be a sponsor of the show, okay? Do they still? They're still in business, right? Ticket Clinic, I would imagine.
I believe there's different ticket. I don't know if they're all called ticket clinics now, but they're still the same thing.
Well, that's the one I remember the most. Ticket Clinic.
Yeah.
Like that's like the granddaddy of them all.
Yes, yeah. But now people have branched off and made other.
Oh, I'm sure they've spin-offs, of course. Yep. Yes. But I'm just going to go with the one that everybody knows, Ticket Clinic.
There we go. Yep.
So, if you have any ideas for certain players and sponsorship ideas, I know Baptist Health for Tua Tagovailoa because he's always injured. I got that. That was very easy.
Or 411 pain, right?
411 pain. Don't play no games. You call 411 pain. Don't play no games. Tua, when you get knocked out, you call 411 pain. Don't play no games. I'm the idiot that remembers jingles. Just doesn't matter what it is. It just comes to mind. I've always been that guy. What a loser I am. But anyway, so, So what would be the, what would be the sponsorship perfect? Because I saw it Ryan Stonehouse. I was like, oh, this guy. Curaleaf would be just fine right there for him. I like what I saw from J.J. McCarthy. Not that I think he's much of a quarterback, and he's going to have to prove that one to me, to be quite honest. I'm not much of a believer in J.J. McCarthy. But I got to tell you something. I like how the kid carries himself. He was on with Kay Adams. And so she asked about being the number one quarterback. And he said, they haven't told me. And he says,
I'm happy they didn't because I try to earn it every single day. I never want that to be given to me. It's such a privilege and an opportunity to give me that chance. I'm just going to make the most of it every single day. And to me, that's kind of cool because we do have the people that kind of think they're entitled. And McCarthy really hasn't proven anything at this level, to be quite honest. And he kind of, I don't know, he comes off as a blue collar guy anyways from Michigan. That's kind of the way I look at him as a player anyway. I don't really look at him as a special talent at quarterback. I kind of look at him as a blue collar lunch pail type of quarterback. Not a lot of frills. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad he cut. I think it's good for him to carry himself in that humble fashion. You know, and on top of all of that, you haven't earned anything. You haven't beaten anybody yet. So you shouldn't be thinking that way. And I thought that was cool on his part to be in a world where you got guys probably thinking they should start when they're already in high school. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making all this NIL money and all that kind of stuff. I like the humble nature from his approach, considering everything else going on. So I thought that was a cool thing for J.J. McCarthy. Hey, I still don't think he's a starter in the NFL, but listen, man, I wasn't much of a Bo Nix guy either, and he did a lot better than I expected. And, you know, when you're wrong, and you got to admit it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm still not a McCarthy believer, but professionally, I like the way he carried himself on that. I got to say. That one's good. The Giants situation, we talked a little bit about it with Steve. What the hell are the Giants doing? You signed Russell Wilson after you signed Jameis Winston. And I know you got Tommy Cutlets, and I don't look at Tommy Cutlets as a starter. I look at him as a guy that you're hanging on to have a number 3 on your team. And he's probably a very weak number 2, if anything. So I get signing either or Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston if you want to start those guys and use them as a bridge to Shedeur Sanders. But when you sign both guys, are you basically saying we're not going with a young guy? We're not going to draft a young guy right now? Because that's kind of, you know, Steve had a cool idea that he thinks, okay, well, they'll cut Tommy Cutlets and they'll draft Shedeur Sanders, and then they'll do anything and everything to get by with those two guys while Shedeur learns. First of all, I don't want Shedeur Sanders around those two guys. I got to be honest. Jameis Winston can talk all he wants, and he's fun, and he's kind of crazy and all that, but what he does on the field is not something that I want to be an example for the player, any player. And Russell Wilson is already an odd bird as it is. I'm not sure I want Shedeur Sanders, who's already coming in with apparently his own baggage, to then complicate things with those guys, and I'm in New York. Let's just throw another bomb into the situation. I'm in New York, and I got to deal with New York media too. Yeah, so I almost get the feeling that since they've been burned by some of these young guys lately, they're not going the Shedeur Sanders angle here. Personally, I think it's a mistake. Okay, you wanted to sign one of those two guys, I'm with it. But both those guys, yeah, I'm not sure I want to push Shedeur Sanders in that situation. And remember, I'm a little different than most. I like Shedeur. I think he's a passer, bro. I think he's the best passer in the draft. So, and I know it's blasphemous to say that because I'm here. I'm in Miami, home of Cam Ward for 1 year. So, you know, that's not right for me to say that. You know, I'm off base by saying something like that. But I think he'll be the better passer when it's all said and done. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. But, man, what the Giants are doing,
I don't know how I can explain it, to be quite honest. That one is hard to swallow. That one is odd. By the way, where's Bitcoin at? We are at 87,000. So it's been holding, even though Trump, announced more tariffs coming. And we'll see what happens on April 2nd, too. So 25% tariffs now on automobiles and stuff. So that'll be interesting. As for the market overall right now, we've had a red day. Dow down 155 points. The S&P's down almost 19 points. And the NASDAQ is down just barely over a point. Let me get to a little music. Let's do that. Why don't we? All right. Let's start off with musicians born on this date, March 27th. Kimbra Lee Johnson, who joined Gautier with the Song of the Year, Somebody That I Used to Know. Good song, by the way. Born in 1990 on this date. Let's see. Fergie. Black Eyed Peas, solo artist too. Born in 1975 on this date. Mariah Carey. Born on 1970 on this date. Johnny April, bassist with Stained, born in 1965. Derek McKenzie, drummer with Jamiroquai, born in 1962. Andrew Ferris, keyboardist with In Excess, born in 1959. Walter Stalker from the Australian band Air Supply, born in 1953. Tony Banks, keyboardist with Genesis, born in 1950. And that's it for musicians born on this date. Let's go with other famous folk celebrating birthdays. Hailey Bailey, Little Mermaid. She is 25. Let's see who else celebrating birthdays today. Nathan Fillion, actor, is 54. Manuel Neuer, soccer player, 39. Quentin Tarantino is 62 years old. And that is it. Kind of a light day in that sense. The great Sean Stanley, what do you have for us?
Bone Soldier turns 43. Charlie Haas turns 53. Kenta Kobashi turns 58. Riley Osborne is 27. SoCal Val, she turns 39. Those are your birthdays. March 27th, 2025.
All right, good stuff. Friend of the show, and very happy that he is on the mend. Ronnie Platt of Kansas, the lead singer. He says, I'm a singer that sings a couple of high notes and not knowing anything about what I had. It was pretty scary. The first thing that entered my mind was, okay, how much time do I have? Thankfully, a little more than a month and a half after revealing his diagnosis of thyroid cancer. Platt is walking with a clean bill of health and preparing to return to the road with Kansas on April 4th in Ivins, Utah. So our friends in Utah will get to see them first. So good stuff that he is feeling better now. He says it was just crazy how everything eventually fell into place so seamlessly. He says, my cousin Karen and her husband, Bill, took me to the hospital. They checked me in. I was out before I knew it. They've got good drugs in them hospitals The next thing I know, I'm waking up in the recovery room. All the doctor had to do is take a nodule. I still have my thyroid. It's unbelievable. I think I was awake for about an hour in the recovery room, and I walked out. I didn't take a wheelchair. I walked the length of the hospital to the parking garage. They gave me a prescription for my pain. I never even opened the bottle. I had no pain. You can't even see where they went in for the procedure. Here we are 20 days after my surgery, and I'm going back to work April 4th in Ivins, Utah. He continues. It's just amazing. It's a crazy roller coaster ride to find out what was going on with me and to really have that thought of how's my life and what I have left, then learning so much stuff, the ups and the downs of dealing with the insurance and the frustrations to come out with an absolute most positive, uplifting outcome that could possibly happen is wonderful. So can't wait to see Ronnie and everybody in Kansas one more time, or many more times. But that is such good news. All right, let's get to music history, which is awesome. Let's find out what happened today. Music history on March 27th. In 86, in Shreveport, Louisiana, Sammy Hagar played his first gig with Van Halen as part of their 112 North American tour. 112 dates. Wow. In 81, AC/DC released their album, Dirty Deeds, Done the Cheap, Dirty Deeds, and Done the Cheap. Ow! In 79, Eric Clapton married George Harrison's ex, Patty Boyd, in Tucson, Arizona. In 84, Metallica made their UK debut with a gig at London's Marquee. In 87, U2 performed on the roof of a downtown LA store as they made the video for Where the Streets Have No Name. It brought traffic to a standstill and attracted thousands of spectators. Police eventually had to shut down the shoot. And, of course, there is a video for it. You can check it out. In 65, Jeff Beck replaced Eric Clapton in the Yardbirds. In 2007, Scott Weiland's wife was arrested on suspicion of burning over $10,000 worth of his belongings outside their Southern Cal home. When police arrived, they found a bin of smoldering clothes. Earlier in the day, the couple left 2 rooms at a luxury hotel vandalized following an argument. Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll. And that's what happened today in music history. And by the way, if you happen to be a Guess Who fan, Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings, the founding guitarist and singer of the Guess Who, have been in talks for a reunion in 26. Says Burton is finishing up some stuff this year. I'm finishing up my BTO stuff, and we have a plan for a 26 Be the Guess Who tour. We do a set list of about 30 hit songs, and it's probably going to be a 2 to 3 hour Springsteen kind of marathon show, and we're all geared to do it in 26. It'll be the unveiling of the Guess Who Are Back. All right? So I like it. Maybe we'll get a date here in South Florida or in Florida, and I'll go see the boys. That'll be cool. I like that. Barcelona leading Osasuna 2-0 in the 32nd minute. Not that you guys care about that, but I am a Barcelona guy. All right. In the Premiership, I'm an Arsenal guy, and in the Spanish Primera, I like my Barcelona. My Barcelona. So there you go. Anyway, what do we have here? I'm seeing here on social media, they got Joe Rose out there with Dan Marino throwing the first pitch. So Joe's catching. Is that what's going on? Since he caught the first touchdown, I'm seeing it here on social media. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing I'm video on social media. I didn't know that that Joe was going. That's cool. Good job by them to at least make it more of a dog and pony show. I mean, it might as well, right? Might as well milk it. You got nothing else. The team sucks. Adam Pinkster setting out a tweet about we got a shot or we got a chance to be special.
Who's got a chance to be special?
Just the old Jimmy Johnson thing.
Oh! I thought it was
of the Dolphins. Yeah, no, it ain't the Marlins.
No, I was like, that's what I was like. I was like, what?
Yeah, the Marlins know nothing about being special.
They put out the lineup today, and every comment underneath it was like, trade Sandy now.
Yeah,
deserves better.
Yeah,
deserves better.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, I'll be at the Violent Femmes tomorrow. So if you are if you're going to Pompano tomorrow, I will be there. Looking forward to it. No opening act too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get there on time. Yeah, and we have an early show tomorrow, so I don't. It doesn't get complicated. That so I can take my time. So if anybody's going to the Violent Femmes tomorrow in Pompano, reach out, say hi. I'll be there, having some fun. Looking forward to it. I love the Femmes. They are awesome. Awesome. I've seen them several times. I've seen them here. I've seen them in Las Vegas. Can't wait, bro. Yes, sir.
Did you see your boy MJ Araldi?
What'd he do? Is he All-American also?
He has been named the NABC and D2CCA National Player of the Year.
Nice. A lot of the guys have gotten some honors, man. So it's cool. CJ Scissorak has had a terrific year. MJ Araldi, who's the other guy that also that is always shining. Yeah, man, Nova's had such a fantastic year. We all hope that they can win it again. And tonight, 9:30, okay? Dallas Graziani is the other guy. Yeah, he does a great job too. Those guys have been anchors for that team, dude. Big time anchors. And I'm sure they're going to lose a lot of those guys this offseason. So that's going to suck. Okay. That part is going to suck that they're going to lose those guys, unfortunately. But hey, man, it's up to Crutch now to find more guys and maintain that level of play that he's maintained for several years now with Nova.
How has he stayed it?
How has he stayed there? He must love it here.
It's got to be, right? Because, I mean, there's no way that he hasn't been offered something.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's no way.
For sure. And especially in this world where it's
success he's had there. And look, I mean, he had success. Then these guys came in, he stayed success. It's not like it's just like one class and then
no. He's turned it over.
Yeah.
He's turned over the roster a couple times during this run. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's phenomenal, dude. He's phenomenal. You got to give him mad props for what he's done. That is so cool. I love that they brought out Joe Rose to catch for Marino. You know, I don't give a crap about the team. The team is garbage and it's all a gimmick. But, you know, I got a soft spot in my heart for Marino as always. But Joe's a good dude, and that's a cool thing that they're doing. Yeah, that's a cool moment for them. You know, it means a lot for us down here in South Florida. So that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. That's pretty good. Big O, need your advice. After watching last season, oh, by the way, you need to go find, because True Fin Fan doesn't really follow Twitter, but there's an insect that has True Fin Fan qualities. Can you find that on my Twitter feed? I posted it yesterday. And let's show True Fin Fan the insect that has his DNA. Anyway, Big O, need your advice. After watching last season and what Weaver did with missing pieces, would it not be smarter to get the weapons in free agency and draft to the coach that did better with less? Brother, I think you can't, like, the thing is, you have certain positions that you need, and it's on both sides. And Weaver, you're right, can do more with less, but he's going to have more anyways because he's going to have pass rushers getting healthy this year. He'll have Chubb completely healthy, ready to go. And then at one point, Phillips should be joining him too. So, and then you've got Chop. So he's second year. So you should have better pass rushing, which should help him out. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, my brother, if the head coach, can't put shit together the right way, can't put the puzzle together, we're screwed anyways. You know? So it really doesn't matter. Now, there you go. So this is the insect that is related to the true fin fan family. And so we're going to show you the power of this insect here and see how it defends itself. Okay? You're getting close, and look at that. Yeah. Bam. And look, it's bah, and it kills it. Look at that fart power. Look at the fart power of that insect. Huh? Look at that. They're trying to get on him, and poof. Huh? That's the true fin fan insect right there. Ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. That's not, you don't want to mess with that insect. See? That ant got up there. He thought, oh, I'm going to be able to take advantage of this guy. I'm going to, boom. Now that's farts right there. See? That's why I've said many times, we've got now the U.S. sending stealth and all kinds of stuff for bombing the Houthis and all that because of everything going on in the Red Sea, when all we got to do is send true fin fan. Think about it. If that insect can wipe things out, and it's a tiny insect, okay, imagine true fin fan's farts. I mean, listen, a little known fact that you guys don't know about this. True fin fan doesn't live in a normal house. He lives in a bomb shelter. It has to be underground. There has to be things that keep the walls in place, because when the man farts, a regular house, forget about it. Forget about it. Come on. You can't do that. True fin fan farts and it's over. Drywall. True fin fan laughs at drywall. He tears down drywall. He explodes drywall. You need thick ass, like several inches in steel, concrete, all kinds of stuff. And that's where the man lives. So, just wanted to show you the power of true fin fans farts. Okay? Don't mess with the man. Don't mess with the man. You see the insects? Shows you. It's amazing, bro. Oscar says, Arnaldo, I was just thinking the same thing. There's no one I care for in the Marlins lineup except Edwards and Jeff Conine's son. Okay. Thank you. But even though he's talking to Arnaldo, not me. Arnaldo says, Big O, I'm looking at the lineup, and I don't know who anyone is except Edwards. This is awful. It is, because Sean's like, who's Edwards? I only know Sandy. I don't know anybody else.
That's the only one I noticed.
Really? I only know Sandy.
Yeah. I've heard about Griffin Conine just because of the things and all that, but I've never seen him play.
Yeah, he's a minor leaguer.
Yeah.
I only know Griffin Conine because it's Conine's kid. But outside of that, I really only know Sandy. This is like the worst roster ever. It's so easy to take them to lose 100 games. Are they losing already? They should be losing already. Still, they should be losing. Sandy should be out already, right? It's 4:43. What time? Oh, no, it started at 4, not at 3. At 4. No, yeah. He should be out like 5 innings in or something. Sandy's got a no-hitter going? For real? Nice. Okay. I like it. All right. So we'll see. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. We thank, of course, Mr. Brunetti, as always, for being a terrific sponsor and supporter of our platform. The great Steve Calibro, who is just golden and always great to us here, and we appreciate it. And we thank everybody out here at Hialeah Park to make it nice and easy for us to broadcast here from the poker room. Join us, man, on Thursdays. If you guys can make it a thing, I always tell you, we can make it a thing here if you guys make it a thing. So come on out here, couches and seats and bar and TVs and food and drinks. So you got it all out here. So appreciate you all. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank the great Sean Stanley. We thank all of you that tuned in. If you send in a super chat, thank you very much. If you send in a Cash App or Venmo, appreciate you. If you made a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, or if you're making a donation to help send us to Spain, thank you, thank you, thank you. We shall see you tomorrow morning live from Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. See you bright and early at 10 a.m. Be good out there.